Mine is an endorsement of Ali Nur Hussein as a commissioner of IEBC. In any organization, there is a need to have someone at the board level, the highest decision-making body, who has great knowledge of problems and who has great knowledge of problems and issues and whatever, from, if possible, from zero to cloud. Of course, getting such a person is a bit difficult, but it is recommended. That is why a lot of people are on record for congratulating Masengeli as the AP Deputy Inspector General. He is not a direct entry inspector, no. All previous heads of AP throughout Kenya have been DOs. And the last one, the very last one, was from the general duties. Actually, he was even once the OCS of Central Police Station, Nairobi. So finding somebody who, like Masengeli, has been a recruit, now it's only, okay, even if we say it is only Inspector General, he has acted in that position. It is quite encouraging. So in any organization, be it what, it is always good to have somebody who has attained most of the ranks there, who knows how people on the very bottom feel, people in the middle, and even the people on the very top. And as I said, in as many positions are, because you find, like in the police, they have 13 ranks. Now, if you have been to rank 1, 2, maybe 5 and 7, maybe 10 and whatever, because I think having all the 13 ranks is a bit of a challenge. It is my feeling, something like that. And if you see Ali Nur Hussein, he has extensive knowledge in electoral matters, and at the same time, his previous experience, if we reach there, you'll find that he has training and experiences in other human-related functions, such as children department, such as being a teacher in primary up to head teacher, such as being a high school teacher, being a college lecturer, and so on and so forth. All this for somebody who comes from one of the remotest places in Kenya. He was born in Wajir, and he did CPE in 1977. You know, during our time, we used to do CPE, but when they later added a K to be KCPE. He comes from Tarbach, and you know, Tarbach and Kotulo is those are the areas that are bound are between form the boundary of Wajir and Mandera. If you can imagine, it's like the middle distance between Wajir town and Elwak. That is where he was. He went to Wajir High School, and from there he went to Machakos TTC, where he graduated as a P1 teacher in 1985. On 1st May 86, he was made a P1 teacher, and he taught several primary schools in Wajir. And later on in the year 2000, he went back to Kenyatta University, where he undertook a degree in special education and business studies, graduating in 2003. I want to talk about special education. This is a field that someone has got to be. It is not a job that somebody just gets it because he lacks a job or anything. This is a job, this is a profession that it almost borders that one of nursing, because special education means that you are required to handle kids with various special needs, either a lot of physical challenges, mental challenges, and such things. It is a combination of teaching and nursing. He graduated in the year 2003, where he went to Kilimambogo TTC for 3.5 years. He taught there for 3.5 years. Then he went to Sebule Secondary School. Sebule is in Wajir, where he taught for 1 year. That time, there was an application. There was an application for children's officer. So he applied to the PSC, Public Service Commission, and he was taken first of all, as a senior children's officer. Later, he was made a senior children officer in Mandera. In 2009, he joined the then Electoral Commission of Kenya, ECK. He worked for the ECK. We will talk about what positions he did and whatever he did. Later on, because of the political things that happened, the ECK was broken immediately after the 2007. You remember there was a problem in 2007, so the ECK was broken. And around 2009, when ECK was transforming itself to independent, in an interim independent electoral commission, the functions of the ECK were split into two. One group was called in the Interim Independent Electoral Commission, and the other one was called Interim Boundaries Review Commission. So he worked for the Interim Independent Electoral Commission, where he was a constituency election coordinator for Wajir North during the 2010 referendum, which transformed. He was also the returning officer in Wajir North. Now, if you want to understand the difference between a constituency election coordinator and a returning officer, the returning officer only has work during the election, maybe a few months before the election and a few weeks after elections. Then after that, you revert to your former. But during the ECK, Electoral Commission of Kenya, there used to be somebody at the district level who was called District Election Coordinator. But during the interim Independent Electoral Commission, that position was expanded. It was expanded to have each constituency have an election coordinator. Now, an election coordinator just coordinates matters to do with the election within the constituency. And that was during the 2010 constitutional referendum. In 2022, the IEBC had started. IEBC started in 2012. I said 2022, but instead of 2012, where he was made by the IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. They made him the Kikuyu constituency returning officer in Kiambu. Kikuyu constituency, where Ishungwa represents. And then 2016, he was moved to Elders, which is in Wajir. Elders is not very far from Habaswein, where he was where he was the constituency coordinating officer. But shortly after 2017, it was felt that he cannot be a returning officer in his home district. So he conducted everything there in that 2017 whatever. He conducted the voter registration, voter education, but when it came to the time for elections, they felt that he should not be in his home district. Uh, then they transferred him to, is it home county? Then he was transferred to Lagdera, which is in Garissa. Lagdera as a returning officer in 2017. Then in 2018, he was taken to Garissa town constituency as the constituency coordinator. I think I've explained what a constituency coordinator is. And then in the election of 2022, he was transferred to Mbalambala as election coordinator. At Mbalambala, which is also in Garissa, he worked there for some time until, being in the electoral commission, you are a civil servant and you are guided by the retirement age. So he went for terminal leave, so he didn't participate in the 2022 general election. He has worked with the electoral people throughout since the time of interim independent electoral commission up to now, the independent electoral and boundaries commission. You see, somebody like that, he has seen the challenges from down there. He has seen the challenges. He comes from marginalized areas. He has done whatever. So I think he knows everything everywhere. And he is an educator. If you can remember very well, before even people started applying for this job, I said that we should have shared commissioners. We should have, in addition to him being an educator, and by the way, he's a trained conflict resolutionist, and I feel I also somebody among the commissioners who will be taken. I would want one to be a professional accountant. We should also have an ICT expert, and 2 or more lawyers. But we should have preference on those with more than one profession. For example, you can be an accountant while at the same time you are an ICT expert. So that all these things, when the commission sits down, because the electoral commission, the IEBC, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, has various duties. So we would have all of them be covered. And when they sit as a commission and they decide something, according to me, I feel they should, according to me, after sitting down and deciding on what to do, whatever, they give each one a mandate to cover issues that are dealing with that line of training. We have seen starting from Chesoni's time up to now, we have seen emphasis being done on lawyers, especially constitutional lawyers. But you see things when the election, when the technology improves, it changes and whatever. We are even headed to places where technology is so much changed that a lot of emphasis are placed on things such as technology, ICT, that is. So I think we should mostly have people spread over that way. Thank you.